Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Growing Pilot's YouTube channel. And today we're going to talk about weather-wise, some practical tips and tactical tricks to help you get through weather and get to your destination, all the while erring on the side of safety. So stand by while we examine some weather and have some fun. So we're going to talk about weather today because here it is, middle September of 2021, and we're about to approach winter, and that's when the weather really changes here in the Midwest. So here's a couple of things, a checklist you need to do to make sure that you'll be ready to pay attention to this. And this is all material that came from my Air Safety Foundation days, and I'd like to thank AOPA for making all this information available. So let's sit back and let's go have some fun with weather. And here's a little fun with the checklist for having a seminar. Make sure your phone's off, your pagers are off, blah, 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 on down the list, including today, weather radar can be on when you fly the aircraft. But anyway, let's get ready and let's go fly. So one of the most deadly accidents you can have in aviation is weather related. And so we're going to talk about weather. And we're not just going to throw some interesting statistics at you to show you why weather's bad, but we're going to give you some real life examples and real world video so that as you're watching it, you can understand what's going on and you can learn from the mistakes of others. And if you want, you can go read the Null report. Year after year after year, the number one type of accident is weather. It's VFR into IMC, going where you should not have gone, and the second most popular one is fuel starvation. But things are never as simple as that, and you can understand and you can forecast the weather. You just can't predict how it's going to change over time. So with your experience, you're going to learn how to navigate the system of weather, and there's a lot of information available to you today with flight service stations, online weather, and today real world weather through your GPS on your screen. So where can you get all your weather information from? And there are a lot of independent sources. The internet is full of weather. Just type in weather and see it. But you know, it's available on your smartphone. It's available on special devices. You have weather radar systems. You have EFSs that you can put in today as part of the packages of an all-glass panel. And when you know about the weather, you can make better decisions. But you need to have the correct information and the accurate facts. So what's the purpose of this seminar? Well, it's to go beyond the written test prep, just to have you know the answers yes or no and get them right. But you need to ask about the physical processes that are associated with weather. And when you start understanding things like the heat exchange and the pressure differential, and you understand what's going on in making the air move or stay where it is like it is, you have a better understanding of how long it's going to stay there, what it's going to be like, and how you can get through it. So with winter coming, we're going to be hitting a lot of these. We're going to have warm fronts coming through. We're going to have cold fronts. We're going to have oculated fronts. We're going to have all sorts of interesting flying. And if we really have to go, then we're going to be relying upon our instrument ticket, our weather briefing skills, and the fact that we have so much weather information available to us today to help us make that good decision. And then as you can see at this point in the slides, we're talking about all the different kinds of fronts, front, cold front, the forecast, the METARs, everything that you're going to be seeing when you go to look at stuff like this. So here's a good example of it. And then you also have the good graphical pictures, which we used to have to draw by hand when we called flight service station for a weather briefing. But anyway, with this information available, we can begin to get a handle on what are we going to do to get through this weather, and is our capability there? I mean, we might have to go someplace and sit for a while. We just sometimes have to wait for the weather to move, and that does happen once in Coastal City down in Florida, coming back from Sun and Fun. Just had to stay a day because of the rain and the weather to clear. But anyway, when you go to the back side of the front, you can always tell if you're flying because the temperature will change, humidity will change. Now, is it promoting air to be stable, or is it going to promote unstable air? And if you have that, well, then you're going to have some precipitation, and we're going to have some other things that can affect the visibility. But it all depends on the time of the day and the air motion. And again, what's your locale? You need to watch out for the dew point as night falls, and hazing can get in there and affect it. And today with our strobes and all in our systems, we want to make sure that they are down. So make sure you're flying by the right flight rules and the right weather for your capability. Now, we all know that thunderstorms are bad and they can really shake up an airplane. So, we want to try to avoid them. And that's why people have different ways of doing that. In the deep south and in areas where you have a lot of terpene in the air and haze, people fly up around 8,500 to 11,500 so that they can have out of the haze layer and they can see the thunderstorms in the distance and navigate their way around them. So always use the capabilities of your airframe to your advantage when you're flying so that you can accomplish your mission safely.
Yeah, so we maintaining kind of tight monkey out there right now. I didn't feel like that time up at 10 p.m. I get up to 10 a.m. twice, so. Alright. Anything bouncing off to get a 10-1 in travel. Got about a 6-7 to go around the south side of the run and then I'm going down south. Alright. And then I'm
And turbulence might shake you up a little bit, but it won't do the airplane any good. And if you should go through some weather that has embedded rain showers, rain will take the paint off the leading edges of your aircraft. Don't ask me how I know that. So those are the things you're going to want to watch out for when you're flying around thunderstorms. Always keep them in sight, avoid the anvil, and use some caution around them, and use whatever weather you have available for you to your best advantage.
Part of the land center. But during this Milwaukee now, you're sitting in the that you're control for left or right and land. Okay. And Washington's having a hard time holding altitude at 10. He went up to 10.8 at one point, so might want to watch that. That's experimental right there. Okay, I'll keep an eye. Thanks for the heads up. You're not taking the coach, okay? And the point right center, 128.5. 128.5.
And if you're going to hit turbulence, make sure you're the right airspeed for it. Make sure your seatbelts are snug and your shoulder straps are snug so you don't be smacking your head into the cockpit above you. Don't ask me how I know that one either. And then what rarely you want to watch out for is rime ice starting to form on your wings. It's amazing how fast just a little bit of ice can affect the airflow over your wings and the lift of your aircraft, all at the same time of adding weight to your aircraft.
Approach 3-2 Victor. We're getting a little roughed up here at 9500. You have a ride-up report from anyone ahead of us?
3-2 Victor, stand by. Bonanza 1 Foxtrot Alpha. How's your ride at 11,000?
Nice and smooth, 1 Foxtrot Alpha.
1 Foxtrot Alpha, thank you. 3-2 Victor, I've got a Bonanza about 10 miles ahead at 1,000 who reports a smooth ride.
So there's a lot to weather, and there's a lot to know about weather, and there's still more to learn about weather. So we hope you found this brief look at it useful and informative. Thanks for watching, and have a great day flying your Grumman.
Are you all right?
Thanks a lot.